we have people who have a lot of ideas, a lot of goals in their mind they want to achieve, but them making the right decisions that will help them put their life in the right place. How do you think one should go about that?
It's about doing what you can with what you have. There is no one that does not have anything, except you just want to overlook or ignore whatever resource it is that you have. The issue usually is people lack guidance and they lack the influence that will help them to or inspire them to be able to do what they have to do.
A lot of us are missing it when it comes to our purpose. When we start something, we want it to bring out money instantly.
Exactly.
Are you sure this is my purpose? Are you sure this is
because
what I'm
when
called
money
for?
becomes the sole target, the sole aim of a particular thing, first of all, you will lose patience. And then again, you will not see the things that are actually important. It will drain out the purpose. Don't abandon what is already working for you just because you feel something else is going to be more glamorous. When people are refusing change, it's because they are afraid of what might be. They'll rather stay where they are than go and launch into the lake because I might drown. So they stay there and they keep doing whatever it is that they're doing that it's not working. So from where you are right now, you can now be able to take the right steps towards where you want to go. Truthfully tell yourself, this is where I am right now. Truthfully, I have started a laundry business, started, closed it down, started it again, closed it down, started it again, closed it down. The fourth time was when it actually blew up.
One of the biggest regrets of any man is to realize that after spending so many years here on earth, did not achieve anything, despite all the choices he or she made. Welcome to Light African TV, where we share with you entertaining, inspiring, and educating content here on this show. So today's show, we'll be talking about transitioning or making the right decisions that will scope your life to a better place. Here on the show, I have with me Mr. Kennedy, who is a life coach and also a fitness coach, and also a radio presenter. Welcome, Mr. Kennedy, to the show.
Thank you very much.
It's amazing to have you here.
Thank you.
And put together all the three things you're doing. I know that today's show is going to be amazing.
In fact, there are actually more than 3.
Wow.
So usually when someone asks me what I do, I'm usually confused, like which answer do I actually
you do
give?
a lot of things.
Yeah, I have to,
So starting with that part, we have people who have a lot of ideas, a lot of goals in their mind they want to achieve, but them making the right decisions that will help them put their life in the right place. How do you think one should go about that?
Okay, so first of all, it's about doing what you can with what you have. There is no one that does not have anything. There is no one that is without resource, except you just want to overlook or ignore whatever resource it is that you have. No matter what it is, you know someone, you have something that can enable you to start whatever it is that you can start right now where you are at this time.
You know, there's something called people that have this multi-passion.
Exactly.
There are people that have too many passions. How can you identify the one to go for first?
First of all, if you want to identify it just from the beginning of your life, I think that's a delusion. You actually wouldn't know. And then I think the most important thing is looking for the one that can have the most impact, that you can find more fulfilled in. That's just the thing. So we all have a purpose. No one is created without a purpose. So your gifts and your talents are for other people, not for yourself, right? So when you're meeting the needs of others and helping others achieve or become better, actually, so that's when you realize that is the one that you have to stick with. Whichever one gives you the greater purpose and helps you change other people's lives.
So you have to go for the one that has the ultimate purpose.
Exactly. They have the
So
greatest
I heard
purpose.
you transitioned from being a pastor to being a life coach. Can you give us a brief of that?
First of all, I wasn't setting out to become a pastor to start with. I wasn't trying to become a pastor. It was just from the impact I was making. That was when this pastor thing, came in. And it was because I've always been the person who wants to change and transform the lives of others. It's so important to me because I realized a lot of people can be more and they can be able to do more. So the issue usually is people lack guidance and they lack the influence that will help them to or inspire them to be able to do what they have to do to move their lives forward. So that was just what I was doing. And I've been doing this since I was in secondary school, actually, to my classmates, to people around me, people in my street, stuff like it has just been a part, it's a passion. Right. So I was doing this particular thing and then I joined this other church. So by the time I joined the church, I kept on doing what I was it's just
Something
me.
you love to
yeah,
do.
just nobody asked me, nobody sent me, nobody is monitoring anything. I was just doing me. Right. So I now realize that because of what I was doing, impacting the lives of people on the street, a lot of people wanted to follow me to church. In fact, they were indeed following me to church. And then I was asked to, why don't you start a cell? Because you're already impacting people. Exactly. So start a cell. I'm like, okay, I started this cell. And from the cell, a lot of people were following me to church. Truly, I just wanted to stop at that cell level because I'm the kind of person I really don't want to get involved in church, exactly in church matters, right? So I just prefer being ignorant of what goes on in the administration there. Just do what I do on the streets, right? So I was taking so many people to church, and at a point I was just asked to start a fellowship, which equals to starting a church, and then I became the fellowship coordinator, which is as good as being the pastor of the church, right? So that means I have my Sunday services, I have my Wednesday services and all that. And one thing that this thing did was it knocked me off from my purpose. It knocked me off from my purpose because I found purpose in changing the lives of people, not expecting anything in return, not asking them for anything, not trying to, yes, I'm not trying to get any gain. I'm just happy that you can give a testimony that because of what I said to you and because of how I inspired you, you're able to make the right decisions. And that was enough for me. But then I realized that with this new status as a pastor, fellowship leader, and all that, I now have targets to meet. I now have numerical targets. I now have financial targets. That
So
knocks
it's
me
no more
off
about the
entirely.
purpose again.
It's no more
now
about the purpose.
Pursuing a church goal.
Exactly, there is a goal now. So my entire focus changed. I didn't really care about helping people anymore. All I cared about is ensuring that the target is met.
When did you get to that point where you said, okay, I'm not doing this anymore?
Oh, this went on for close to 3 years. I was doing this and I was struggling. I was murmuring. I was like, God, how did I get here? How did I get here? What am I doing? All the compassion I felt for people, everything disappeared. I didn't have it again. I didn't see people and see them
See
as
their
who they are.
problems like
You understand what I'm
you
saying?
want to
And then
solve
see
it.
what my place in their life and how I was going to help them. I never saw that again. I was only seeing them as either Naira and Kobo that will help me meet the financial target, or one more person that will help me meet the numerical target, right? So I didn't care about them anymore. And it showed. It showed actually in the people. It showed from how I reacted to them and what I said or how I reacted to their problems, because they just didn't matter to me anymore. I did this for 3 years, and at the end of 3 years, I said to myself, can I continue to do this? It's draining me. I am dying. It's draining me because I'm now lost. I'm now like someone who is being swept away by the flood. I can't stop this. I just don't know what to do. One day, I knew I had to do something drastic, because right now I have to save my life. I have to save my life, and no one is saving me, because it was just too much. I was always getting calls. Where is the money? Is the money complete? How many are the numbers?
Wow.
I was always getting these calls after every service, I was always, so I'm like, your target is 2 million naira. Have you gotten it yet? How close are you? You know, all those things. I'm like, Jesus, I did not sign up for this. I didn't sign up for this.
It wasn't really that you were doing the pastor work, because the purpose you had was to change people's life.
That's just it.
If even being called or being told to become a pastor wouldn't have changed that purpose, if
Don't
those
have.
church activities
Thank
and goals,
you. It wouldn't have, actually. On its own, it wouldn't have. But because of the pressure that I have, financial targets and numerical targets, I was just drowning. I was just
I
drowning.
think that's where a lot of us are missing it. Even apart from the pastor thing, a lot of us are missing it when it comes to our purpose. That we tend to like, okay, when we start something, we want it to bring out money instantly.
Exactly. The
So if it's not
impatience.
bringing the money,
Yeah.
we begin to feel like, are you sure this is my purpose? Are you
Yeah,
sure this is what
because
I'm
when
called
money
for?
becomes the sole target, the sole aim of a particular thing, first of all, you will lose patience. And then again, you will not see the things that are actually important. You will no longer see the things that are actually important because now money is the only focus that you have. And that destroys a whole lot of things. That destroys a whole lot.
Now that you, okay, let me ask, when you told them that, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, what was the reaction?
I actually didn't tell them because I didn't want to have that conversation. I didn't want the back and forth because there is no how you would tell them. Seeing the results that you're producing, nobody would say, oh, okay, it's all right, don't do it anymore. Nobody will tell you that.
Want to
They will have to,
initiate you
yeah,
to
they will
stay.
persuade you, oh, please continue, you have to continue, you know, the word of the Lord. Actually, the thing was the first time I was given this position, I called like my senior in the church, you know, and I told him, I can't do this. I don't think I can. This is not what I want to do. I don't want to be a pastor. I can't do this. And he started quoting scriptures for me and telling me, see, you have to, right? Because the Bible says, and you don't have to, you know, usurp authority. You have to continue and all that. I just obeyed because I didn't want to seem like I am, you know, stubborn and all that. All right. So the day I realized this was the point I have to save myself, I didn't tell anyone. I just didn't go to church that day. I didn't go to church. In fact, I locked up the place and stayed away.
That was really a drastic
It
decision.
was I knew it had to be drastic. There is no way. It had to be whatever. The sky has to fall today. In my mind, I already made up my mind. The sky has to fall today. I just locked up the church and stayed home. I was getting calls. Hey, pastor, aren't you in church? Where are you? We've been outside, blah, blah, blah. And anybody that I didn't off my phone, I allowed it, you understand? So anybody that calls me, I will tell the person, see, you have to go to the nearest branch or whatever branch you can find or whatever church you can find.
Listening to your story, I can tell that your purpose can also determine the place you manifest the purpose.
Yeah.
Because if the place is wrong,
Exactly.
then the purpose will not manifest.
Exactly, it will not. It will drain out the purpose. It will dry it out. You see?
And I think that's where a lot of these young ministers are missing it, because a lot of them feel, because I can teach the word of God, then I should handle a pulpit. And like what I tell people, I said, when God calls you, He doesn't really call you to open a church. He doesn't really call you to stand on the pulpit.
Exactly.
There are different ways you
Yeah, not everyone will be the pastor. You get it. Not everyone have to be, but we all have to fulfill our purpose in Christ. We all have to do what God has called us to do. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be the pastor of a church. No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that.
So how is life now as a life coach?
Oh, in fact, first of all, after I took my drastic decision, you know, I felt like you know, like when Jesus came out from the wilderness, right? After being tempted of the devil, the Bible says the angels ministered to him. That's how I felt.
Wow.
I
That's
felt
freedom.
like freedom. I felt the Spirit of God. I felt like very light. I felt very light. The thing is, the people I had always led, I was still in good terms with them. We still have conversations, here and there. We still have conversations and all that. But it's just what I was making them to do, which was always trying to, pull out finances from them just to be able to meet the target. I had stopped that. And that was liberating for me because I saw them suffer. People who come to church and a lot of them need help. In fact, after church service, every single time, I have to give someone money, help someone pay some hospital bills, help someone pay some school fees and all that. And they are the same people I'm supposed to pull out all this money from.
To meet up with church.
The day I stopped doing that was a liberty for me. I was liberated. And life ever since have been amazing. I tell you, I have always done this. This is not, I didn't start it because I was made the pastor. This was, in fact, it stopped when I became the pastor, actually. So by the time I stopped this pastor thing, I now went back fully, normally, into what I've always been doing. I don't want it to be called maybe church I'm just like a transformational coach, a life coach, just to see people. Almost every day, I have people I have to talk to. Some have to come to my house, some have to come to my office, some have to, just so that we can have conversations about their life, where they are, how they need to move forward, all those things. That's all I want to do, and that's all I do, and it's just enough.
So what do you have to tell to young, I would say young, because in this generation, we have a lot of people who are so frustrated by what they see on social media. Now, when they see these things, instead of them to pick what they are supposed to pick
Exactly.
and transform their lives, they go back getting depressed.
Yeah.
So what do you have to tell to these young ones who use social media as their form of guidance?
Exactly. So social media, I just don't know. Like you have to, first of all, you have to discover yourself, because I'm big on discovering yourself. You have to know you. You have to know yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be whosoever the world tells you that you should be. You will be pursuing a mirage. You will want to be whosoever the world tells you that you should be. That's just the thing. And the thing is that since you're not that thing, you will forever be pursuing it. And the only road that place leads to is depression. I have seen so many people in it. One of the young person I was talking to recent, I think about last month or so, he wanted to commit suicide, right? He see himself as a failure. He had gone into his ND in the Polytechnic, and he did terribly bad, right, in his academics. And he told me that he's always having this suicidal thought because he feels he has failed. I began to speak to him. I told him several things, and I began to paint a new picture of himself to him, because whosoever he has been comparing himself to isn't him at all. Yesterday, I was speaking to one other person. He does this Okada business. He rides a bike, so he has been feeling unfulfilled. He's trying to do, like, he has this big picture of who he's going to become, because he has an ND as well. So he feels like this is what his life should be. This is what his life should be. So I was just trying to let him know that he has to work with reality. You have an ND certificate, but I need you to know that certificate doesn't run the world that we are in right now. I just need you to know that. So if you are comfortable already in this bike business that you're doing, and it's providing all your financial need, you can start from there and decide to build a life from there, right? Instead of abandoning it and chasing a different dream altogether that will lead you to nowhere, because you're seeing a mirage. You feel like, if I am this, then I'll be this. I need to pursue. It was even saying I need to pursue a nursing career, or maybe I need to go into military. I'm like, yeah, you can't be doing that, and you're already 28. Right? That's just
And
the
time
thing.
waits for no one.
So exactly, time waits for no one. So it doesn't mean you can't do something else while you're riding your bike. It just means that don't abandon what is already working for you just because you feel something else is going to be more glamorous. I told him several times while we were speaking, I said, you're looking for a glamorous life. That's what you're doing. You're looking for a glamorous life.
Like that
And I'm
is
not
all
saying I'm not
looking all
saying
good.
it's not going to come. I'm just saying, don't abandon what is working for you right now just because you want something glamorous. I even told him a story about a lady that I know, and we're like in the same circle. Like, we have a book club that we're all in. This lady, she is a high flying lady actually in the corporate world, and she's in marketing. You know, she goes to South Africa, she goes to the UK, they have meetings, she works for international multinational companies and all that. But at the same time, she has a shop at Ikeja, right, where she sells frozen foods. Right? Now, if you see her jetting off from a plane, you understand, attending some international meeting
you
and
feel
all
like
that,
that's it.
you will not believe that she's the same lady tying one wrapper, selling frozen foods at Ikeja in her shop. Exactly. Money has to be made. Now, those ones that she might be doing might be income that comes in probably monthly or quarterly or yearly or something like that. But you see, this frozen food business is a sharp. And she did not leave it just because she has this other glamorous kind of job, right? So that's what I'm telling you. So because you want to be this, don't neglect the ones which you feel like they're not high flying enough. It doesn't work like that.
Listening to you is just like you're trying to tell us now that no matter how much you try to pursue your purpose or your passion, you must have something that gives you that little income.
Exactly. Don't ignore
So
all
that
those things.
you don't say, I want to pursue my passion and you just leave one job
And
somewhere.
then leave that, and then you're doing nothing else, and then I'm pursuing a passion.
So it's just like most of these people we see online these days that say, I left my 9-to-5 job to become a full-time content creator, that they are not telling people the truth about them being a full-time content creator. They already have money stuck somewhere or they have someone helping them. And it's making the young ones to feel like, okay, I think I need to leave my 9-to-5 job and
And do the
become
same
also
thing.
a full-time content creator.
But there's a transition. Even them leaving their 9-to-5 job to become a content creator, there's a transition, because by the time they transition, they are already being paid as a content creator. The money is already coming in. So they didn't just leave their 9-to-5 job and start hanging.
I think that's the picture they are painting.
No,
to
it doesn't.
people.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
Okay, at what stage of your life did you realize that, okay, this is what I want to pursue?
Okay, so first of all, I actually believe in letting things unfold. Right? I do not believe in magic, like it just happened. It's been coming. You have to pay attention to your life, right? You have to pay attention to like me. I'm kind of like multi-talented, multi-skilled and all that. So it's easy for me to be confused as in what I really want to do, right? So I'm actually trying every single opportunity that comes to me. I'm trying my hands on every opportunity that comes to me. Then I'm looking at what works, what is working for me with the resources that I have, with the environment that I'm in and all that. I'm looking at what's working for me. So I just kind of like stick to what's working for me at the moment. That's what I do. So
you allow things unfold, make
exactly.
use of the opportunities.
Make use of the opportunity. And I'm open to evolving. I'm always open to evolving. So no matter what I'm doing now, there's no guarantee that that's what I'm going to be doing in the next 10 years. No. I'm open to evolving. So as long as something is working right well, I am on it. That's this. I'm on it. You see. So, but I'm not impatient. I'm not trying to drop it off. I'm not, because consistency is what makes anything pays eventually, right? So it doesn't mean like because you started it today, then it's going to work, right? So some things you just have to be patient enough to, keep doing it, just so that you don't, prematurely fall off, the radar.
So what do you have to say to people who get stuck in a particular purpose that they know is not working, but they are scared of transitioning from that one into another one that they know that, okay, maybe this is my line, but if I leave this thing and I do this one, it might not end up the way I want it. What do you have to say to them?
Mostly when you say you got stuck, it's not like you got stuck. It's in your mind, right? The getting stuck is in your mind. And most times when people are refusing change, it's because they are afraid of what might be, right? So they'll rather stay where they are than go and launch into the lake because I might drown. So I'm scared of going to try this other thing because I don't know what will happen, right? So they stay there and they keep doing whatever it is that they're doing that it's not working. And then before you decide that something is not working, you have to have tried all the options. You have to have done it this way, done it the other way, try this, people's opinions and being objective enough to, try new things, right? The same thing, try it in different ways, right? So that's at the point where you can decide that, okay, so this is actually not working the way I'm working. Now, it's not enough for you to abandon it entirely. You can leave it for the moment until you get a new idea about that thing. So it's like a file. Okay, let me just close this file and keep it by the side until I get something new. Meanwhile, let me try this other thing. So in doing the other thing, you might get the idea of how to go back to that same thing. For instance, I had started a laundry business, right? I have started a laundry business It was the fourth time that it worked. I had started, closed it down, started it again, closed it down, started it again, closed it down. The fourth time was when it actually blew up. And at that time, I now have everything that will make sure that it doesn't go down this time around. Everything. In fact, it worked so much. I'm now thinking maybe I should now stop the other thing I'm doing. I'll concentrate on this because it's working so fine. So it's not about just because you started, it didn't work, you close it out. You can decide to keep the file somewhere and then let's work on other things. Then we'll come back to it. Probably when I have more ideas or newer ideas or more resources or stuff like that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
In fact, I've learned a lot today, but in just 5 sentences, how do you make the right decisions?
Okay, 5 sentences, right? How do I make the right decisions? First of all, by being realistic to start with, because to go anywhere, you have to know where you are. Even when you're trying to book a ride, right? Probably Uber, what's it called? You have to write where your destination is first, and then where you're going to. So you have to be clear where you are right now. A lot of people have not been able to have that conversation with themselves and tell themselves the truth where they are right now. You have to know truthfully. Is not don't deceive yourself in any way.
Or faithfully tell yourself, I am here.
This is where I am right now. Okay? So now this is where I want to be. This is the other place I want to be. So from where you are right now, you can now be able to take the right steps towards where you want to go. That's just the thing. Just the number one thing is truthfully tell yourself, this is where I am right now. Truthfully. In your finances, in your resources, in your environment, whatever. Tell yourself, this is where I am right now. So now it will be clear the steps that you have to take towards wherever it is that you're going. That's how it's done.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You heard it all. Whatever decision you're making in life to make your life a better one, you have to be clear. You have to be truthfully clear about where you are and where you want to be. First of all, find out where you are. Then the actions you take to where you want to be will determine the truth you have told yourself today. So if you found this video very interesting, don't forget to like, share, and drop your comments. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel on Light African TV. I remain your host, Andrew Elizabeth.